Keep doing what? All right, that's your. Oh, how are you keeping first? I don't know, but I appreciate it. All right, I'll get music going and I guess get started today. Oh, that's not gonna work. I have to have the volume up for it to work. Duh. Good morning, Yami. Hi, Mike. Hello. You're hungry. I will be. My stomach's gonna be mad at the end of this, like it always is. Hello. Guys, make sure we're doing all of the good things as we come in, please. Make sure we're starting to tap, getting those likes up. If you're over there on YouTube coming in, hit that thumbs up button for me. So we finish out playing some music to get started today. Happy for your haircut. I'm glad you got your hair clean. Showing up like bad news. Help me if it helps you sleep. Help me if it helps you write. Help me if it helps you leave. Help me if it helps you lie. Hello, welcome in, Raiders. I see you guys over on YouTube who rated, and I see you guys over here on TikTok. Thank you so much for coming in. Make sure we're doing all the good things as we come in. The work for you doesn't stop, and I'm so sorry about that. But let's make sure we are tapping that screen up, please. Yes, Grifter host. Sure. Keep going. Let's prove him right that I am a grifter, okay? Let's do that. So still, even if I'm in a bad place, even if I'm eating fast food, sleeping at my dad's place, I'm so happy for your haircut. Showing up like mad, leaving like a man. Help me if it helps you sleep. Something, something, all over it. Help me if it helps you write. Help me if it helps you leave. Help me if it helps you lie. We were fine without you, baby. All right. Good morning, good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys putting up with me and my songs and my singing, but that is what it is. It's how I get my day going. It's how I feel good. And yes, Noah Kahan's album is just on repeat. Nobody Talk to Me. It's the only songs I'm listening to right now. But as we get started this morning, if you're over here on TikTok, will you make sure that you are tapping that screen for me? I'd like to hit 50,000 likes within the first hour. I know you guys can do it. I've seen you guys do it. So let's start working on that. I would appreciate it. He's coming to Colorado as well. We're supposed to go see him. So the tickets are supposed to be there. Do your daily Heart Me if you have not done so. Guys, by doing your daily Heart Me, you do get access to stickers that I have on here. Quite a bunch of fun ones on here. So I would appreciate if you guys would do that. Absolutely not. Tasty Cake. How about absolutely not? Let's share it out. Share the live out, please. Don't spam the copy link, but you can repost it, you can add it to your story, you can share it to 5 of your friends. Sparky, I can't with you. And so make sure we're doing all the good things to promote TikTok, please. If you're over there on YouTube, guys, if it would help me out, please hit that thumbs up button while you're watching. It does help push us onto the algorithm. And hello over there on Twitch. I see you guys and you wonderful viewers. Don't forget, you guys can subscribe on Twitch or YouTube. You get access to stickers and fun things. If you're over there on YouTube, you can send super chats. In case the chat gets too busy, it's easier for me to see it. If you want to insult me, you can pay to insult me. That's totally fine. I have no problem with you doing that. A grift is a grift is a grift. I am whore. And if you would like to send bits or things over on Twitch, you are also available to do so, guys. And I have my roses. I've got 20 of those left before we can update. Thank you, Jolie, for getting as many of those up as you did. I appreciate it, and we can get started today. Hello, work wife. Trump speaking.
I am whore.
I am whore. Trump is speaking, so that's fun.
We're in a cabinet meeting, right? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah. So I don't like to play it live. It's harder for me to fact check. It's easier for me to do so the next day. So I will most likely have clips. He seems like I've had it on. It looks like he's just running greatest hits anyway. Like I already saw him doing his different kind of percentage math for medication. And talking about Iran's navy being non-existent, which obviously we haven't seen if they're still able to attack the boats. So I'm sure we will have lovely, lovely clips of that. But we are going to get into what we are going to get into today. So we're going to start. There was a lot of hubbubaloo because Donald Trump, and we talked about this at the end of my show yesterday, Donald Trump went to his 4th, after we looked it up, I believe it was 4th, visit to the doctor that he called a regular visit. The issue with that is he's 79. It's not a regular visit to be seen that often, 4 times within the amount of time that you have been inaugurated as president. And originally, he was supposed to go to Walter Reed, get checked out by his doctor, and then he was going to go do, which was unusual, but he was supposed to have his cabinet meeting at Camp David. They actually canceled that because of storms, scattered storms, and they're now holding it at the White House. So there's speculation about his health, that the Camp David thing was, again, this is just speculation, that it was canceled because Walter Reed wanted him to stay close. We have no fucking proof of that. That's just things that are being said on the internet. So I was just repeating what's being said on the internet. However, like I said, I preface, doesn't mean that that's true at all. We have no evidence of that. However, like Eli just said, Donald Trump posted a truth saying, I am perfect, like perfectly healthy. Dude, you're 79. We've seen what your hands look like. There's no fucking way in hell that you are perfectly healthy. You might be in good health. I don't know. I haven't seen your report. You won't release them. But there's no way in hell that you are perfectly healthy. Again, I'm 35 and I'm not fucking perfectly healthy. And I take care of myself pretty fucking well. So there's been speculation about it. CNN, MS Now, NBC, CBS, even Fox News was talking about Trump's health and the speculation surrounding his health. The White House page on Twitter was freaking the fuck out and posting literally little screen grabs of every single anchor who ran a story on Trump's health where they were like looking down at their notes or like looking sideways and saying, see, they're sleeping, because we keep going after Dozy Dawn. So apparently they ran a poll. So this is our good boy, Red Bull Golden Retriever, Harry Enton. talking about polling on Trump's health. So we're going to talk about it. If we talked about it with Biden, we're going to talk about it with Trump. I did forget to advertise for my Grifty goal. Oh my God. So I have 100 that I have every single day, guys. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. I would appreciate it if we could get started on that. I've had a rough motherfucking day yesterday, and it's been a rough month. So if you could help out with that, I would appreciate it. You could do a Dollar Tree. Oh my God, I have crabs.
Flip it!
I knew. To be fair, I knew that one when I said it. But, if you guys want to do a $1 train, a $2 train, $5 train, whatever you would like to contribute or can contribute, I would appreciate it so much. I have Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, all in the link tree in my bio if you would like to help. Arturo even said clip it, which is crazy. I would appreciate it. Yami said it. Y'all are on some shit. I would appreciate it so very much. Okay. We're going to do Harry Enton. Actually, let me make sure.
Pay to help take care of the crabs that she just yelled about.
Yeah, I need help with my crabs. So please, they have to be treated.
I cannot with you!
Here's Harry Enton on Trump's health.
I think the American people are having increasing concerns about the president's physical health. And these are just the numbers, because we're just running the numbers here. And you could see a
Real quick, though, you know what's even worse about it is because I don't screen record to Twitch and YouTube anymore, they can't see the gift. So they have no clue what I'm talking about. Just so we know.
right here. Say Trump's physical health to be president is good enough. You go back to 2023, it was 64%. 2025, 54%. Within the last month, look at this, down to just 44% of Americans who say that Trump's physical health is good enough to be president. It has been on a steady decline. The American people are viewing with their eyes, and what they're viewing they are not pleased with. And as you can see here, for the first time ever this year, less than 50% of Americans.
Nuclear, you're absolutely right. Like, good enough is a fucking low-ass bar for health. Like, can we stop? Like, and I apply this before you guys, what about Biden? Like, I apply this to all old white men. Can we please stop? Like, can we stop electing these old white men with health issues? Like, I'm fucking over it. Peter, that's wild. Peter said he's glad to give me crabs. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Americans actually say that Trump's physical health is good enough to be president. I think the American.
It's good enough. 44% it's not terrible, but it's not great. It's a below a majority. And again, source, just so we know. Yes, he now works for CNN, but his sources are an ABC and a Washington Post poll. But yeah, stop electing boomers. That would be nice. That would be nice. Can I get W's to Nuclear, please, in the chat for the $2? Who said, pocket mute for whoever needs it today. Thank you. I have a feeling we're going to end up using that. So we have a nice little pocket mute for whoever we need to add it to. Not the face. So thank you. Brings us down to 98, guys, as we get started today.
You know what? I'll also do this. If someone can get the goal down to a certain number that I don't like saying, I will turn on my camera and say it and do the fucking hand shit.
He's so fast. Oh my God, I have crabs. So fast. Y'all are so fast. Okay. Got some things to get to. I have a couple things here real quick. You could dive more into it. I suggest... Hi, DJ Bookie. I suggest you dive more into it about the flotilla of activists that was just got home. They were trying to send supplies to Gaza, and they were intercepted by Israel. They were detained by Israel. They were tortured by Israel. They finally came home. So I'm going to show you, because not a lot of people are talking about it, but I am going to show you a couple of the clips. This is Israeli Minister Ben-Gvir, who parades around these activists as they're being shoved and treated this way. And he's just got the biggest smile on his face while they're there. So... I just want you guys to be aware that this is going on in the middle of the entire world burning. There are still people trying to get supplies to the people in Gaza and the people in Palestine, and they're having trouble. Why? Because the Israeli government is an absolute fucking piece of shit. So.
Check it.
Free Palestine!
Check it. טובה.
That's Ben Gvir. By the way, in case you didn't know, I never got a chance to show it, but Ben Gvir, along with the other Israeli government, have passed a law that if you are convicted of a crime as a Palestinian, you get the death penalty. And when they passed that, they celebrated by walking out of the chambers with pins that had nooses on them. So.
ברוכים הבאים לישראל, אנחנו בעלי הבית. ככה צריך. ישראל חי. ישראל חי. כן.
זיכוי, כל המטרה כאן זה לראות שאין אנשים בתהליך.
לא להתרגש מהצעקות שלהם, לא להתרגש.
So, love that. Love that they're just celebrating doing that to them. But they came home, so I'm going to show you that. Full screen.
It was sadistic, it was structured, it was organized. You know, it was hell. And we had 4 days of it.
Every time someone went to the toilet, they stepped on someone's wounds, on their feet, on their heads. The Muslim men allowed me, an Irish white doctor, cuddle them like a mother. All barriers were broken.
All of us went through beatings. There was many broken bones. There was all sorts of fractures. We had no medical assistance apart from the amazing doctors here. And absolutely no medical aid or painkillers of any sort.
At the same time, we were being tortured by Israel and apprenticeship. The Irish government were voting not to sanction them.
Israel believes that if they punish people enough, people will give up. They believe if they punish the Palestinians enough, the Palestinians will give up. I think at this stage it has been proven that they will not give up.
And nobody's going to give up talking about it. No, we're not going to stop talking about how they are being treated and what they have done to those people over there and how we have helped fund it with our weaponry, with our money. I think that's absolutely something we should continue to talk about. So keep an eye on that, guys. It's really just to make you aware to keep an eye on. W's DJ Bookie, W's to you for the 1153. And you said with little heart face emojis, which we appreciate, Olive's favorite number. I thought it was going to be the other one, but I can do math. So it is our actual favorite number.
Yeah!
8647.
WDJ Bookie. Yeah!
DJ Bookie wants James Comey to come after me, I think. With the amount of times we do it. Is it a threat? Is it a threat? No, it's not a threat. It's a number. It's a number. Cry harder. That's going to be interesting. Like I went over the James Comey case yesterday. It's going to be interesting. The second Ben Gvir leaves Israel, they will be unsealing an arrest warrant. Oh, yeah. I mean, why do you think Netanyahu doesn't go to the board of peace meetings in the countries in the Netherlands and in the European countries? There's a reason. There's absolutely a fucking reason. Oh, my bad. I did not have the phone line on. I was wondering why I was so peaceful. To be fair, it's been like that because you guys don't call.
TikTok needs to fix the orange gift. I don't like when I first looked down, I didn't know what I was looking at.
You knew what you were looking at.
Yeah, oranges, duh.
Oranges. All right. So we're going to move to some stuff on Iran. Let's see, how do I want to do this first? Yeah. So there have been proposed ideas of deals talked about, okay? They've been talked about. We don't know exactly what's in them. We just know about frameworks. And what we're hearing is that money is possibly going to be unfrozen for Iran, which is very, very interesting because you guys have cried about that nonstop for about almost a decade. Money grabs is crazy. So Jesse Waters is going to try and, make it sound like it's not the same thing. And Jessica Tarlov gets him pretty fucking good on it. And so I'm very glad that she calls him on his hypocrisy. If you're going to say that it was bad that Obama unfroze assets, then you should say the same thing for Trump trying to make that kind of a deal. I've said this before. Donald Trump didn't like it because it had Obama's name on it, for one. And also, I think he didn't understand it. I think he heard the colloquial name of Iran nuclear deal and was like, that's allowing them to get nukes, because he's not a smart man. However, because it had Obama's name on it, he had to absolutely get rid of it. And now he is trying to come up with something that's probably going to be worse, not as good as the JCPOA. Thank you for giving me crabs. Thank you, Jolie. And it's not going to be as good, and we're probably going to be giving more away.
The only thing is that you're going to have to unlock some money. Now, it's not like sending pallets of cash over there like Obama did. It's basically just unfreezing some of their accounts. But that's like peanuts compared to the hundreds of billions of dollars that they've lost because of the sanctions, the blockade, the war. It's absolutely crippled them. So I bet a lot of these guys, they unfreeze the accounts. I bet they fly to Beijing or fly to Vlad's neighborhood and just hang out with the mistresses because it's not a safe place.
Oh, you mean like a lot of the people Trump pardoned did? Or the people in Trump's orbit did?
He basically explained exactly what Obama did.
Pretty
Excluding the Vlad stuff, right? Obviously. But
right.
like,
Well, I think he's talking about the leadership in Iran, that they'll flee to have like asylum in Russia or in China. Very similar to some of the people in Trump's former cabinet, but
just, again, I'm hypocrites and stupidity.
Is it Guileg? If Trump pulls off peace deal with Iran and change Cuba democracy, he will go down as one of the best presidents, especially over Obama. Yeah, the problem is it has to be an actual peace deal, right? It actually has to be a peace deal, not just he says it's done, we won, and walk away. That's the difference, right?
To be. It's not a good place to be in Tehran after all this. And Hines, he's basically admitting he's an idiot. He's saying that, yes, I was perfectly comfortable with Iran on the cusp of a nuke, armed to the teeth, and us not being able to do anything about it. No bueno.
No bueno. Jessica, I hope you had a lovely Memorial Day hating America.
What?
I'm joking.
Also, I would say Jesse Waters is one of my least favorite people. No, I think Greg Gutfeld is probably one of the worst human beings on the planet. Just so we know.
Do I have to say I'm joking?
My mom's watching.
Oh, she's sensitive
I love your mother.
today.
She's wonderful.
Judy rules.
It's an odd responsibility for the victor, but they still have to create some kind of face-saving move for the loser. What might that be for Iran?
Which is funny. The face-saving for the loser is actually Trump, because he could have just not done this. And we would have been, also Curtis here. Any of the PayPal mafia bros, really, Jamie, is really, really where it's at. Arturo, I am reading what you're sending, I promise. You said, I believe Trump is helping Iran create one military power. If they cease fire with the regime but let the small factions attack us, we still keep the peace intact with the regime, but the small factions will phase out and eventually have one separate power from the houses, like Hamas and such. Said it's hard to negotiate when you don't know who you're talking to. He's creating the one personal power instead of multiple factions that cause chaos across the strait. I would agree with you, except for the fact that we haven't seen that historically in Middle East history. These small factions don't die out. These small factions get backing from corrupt governments, or these small factions get backing from us, right? The reason that we have things like, or had things like Al-Qaeda, things like ISIS, are because of our own intervention, and like things like China and Russia's intervention of boosting them economically and boosting them in a governmental way by helping them to commit coups when the leadership no longer aligns with us. So the only thing I would argue is that the factions don't die out because we continue to keep funding them.
You have 30 seconds.
come down to the details of whatever this is. You know, if they get a deal, is it going to be better, the same, or worse than the JCPOA? That's what it's going to get compared to. I loved the quote from Jesse there about the money that would be released to the Iranians, that it denying the fact that it was their money that was being held in Qatari bank accounts when Obama did it, only $1.7 billion, not the huge numbers that people say, versus what's going to happen this time when Donald Trump has to give them some of their money in order to get them to take a deal.
Right. So that's the thing. It's similar, but it's almost worse, right? Like, we actually got something out of this, whereas Donald Trump doesn't have anything yet. Right? And this idea, what Jesse did is he said the same thing that Obama did, that Trump, the rumors are Trump is planning to do, or some form of that. However, he tried to quell it by saying, but it doesn't equate to anything compared to what they've lost. Like, that's stupid. You're still unfreezing their assets. It's the same fucking thing. And Jessica called him on that. So love her for that. Yeah, I also don't know how she does what she does. She did a Pod Save interview once where she talked about it, and she's like, I enjoy being in the thick of it. Like, I really, really do. So let's let Jessica Tarlov eat again in regards to how bad this is. This war has caused not just worldwide problems, but specifically, if we're talking about if you want to be America first here at home. The issue I have is that a lot of Republican Congress people and within the administration, their excuse is saying that, yeah, it's bad now, but it's not going to be bad forever. But also, it's worse over there. It's worse in Europe. It's worse in China. It's worse in Japan. I don't know how that makes us feel better about it being bad. And on top of that, all his other failings. So
the lack of fertilizer that is getting to our country, if you turn on any channel, you'll see interviews with farmers who are saying that it is complete dire straits at this point. We already have a record number of bankruptcies. And so it seems to me, and we'll see what the deal looks like if there is one to be had, Donald Trump needs a midterms deal more than he needs a nuclear deal at this point, and is willing to make a deal and punt some of the more complicated stuff down the road, continue the ceasefire in that respect so that we can deal with $4.50 gas, approval ratings, and, you know, in the tank, minus 52 on inflation, minus 24 on foreign policy. You want to say, oh, this is a great solution to all of this. There are a number of conservative supporters of the war who feel, like you did in your initial statements, Jesse, that they want actually more firepower. They don't want us to walk away at this point and just have a diplomatic solution. And I'm not sure at this point that Iran actually does think that we are willing to come at them.
Double A, we are watching Fox News because it is still information. This is, so I'm not saying you're saying this, but what I am going to say is I think that the left can have the same problem as the right, which one, Jessica Tarlov, by the way, is a liberal correspondent on Fox News. She is the liberal position on Fox News for the Five, very specifically, which is why we're showing her. But I think the left can have the same problem as the right. Whenever I play a clip from CNN or NBC or MS Now, they say liberal mainstream media. And I think we can have the same issue. I like to play clips from Fox News. Why? Because this is what they are ingesting. It gets us a chance to see what they're seeing, and what they're being told and what they are believing. I hope they listen to Jessica a little bit more when she's on here, but that is the reason why.
With missiles again, because we've been threatening, you know, nuclear plant day, bridge day, tunnel day, whatever it is, for a long time at this point. And I'm not saying that I want them necessarily to call our bluff, but I'm not sure that they're quaking in their proverbial booties as much as you might think.
Yeah, the Iranians.
So the problem that we're having is here at home. Fertilizer, I'm going to get into this. Fertilizer costs, food costs, gas costs. And Trump should be more worried about that than he should be about trying to lie about Iran. But he should still fix this, but all he's doing is fixing something he broke. It wasn't broken. It wasn't great, but it wasn't broken, and he broke it and now has to fix it. And that's a fucking problem, and it's hurting the American people. And hurting the American people during a fucking election year, during midterms, is a problem. Now, I know that Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck, because we saw him on the tarmac about a week ago being asked about, do you have any motivation of the midterms for why you should get a deal done? And he says, I'm in no hurry. He doesn't care anymore because he doesn't have to campaign anymore. Although it's interesting because he should care, because if you lose the fucking midterms, it's going to be a problem. So let's keep going. General Keane. Remember, General Keane left. He was like forced out and left. And General Keane is going to talk about Iran and the Strait, talking about it, and how Iran never... I already saw somebody in the chat, I think it was Iraq, who said that Iran was already planning on leveraging the Strait. Why had they never done it before? You guys like to sit here and tout 47 years, 47 years, 47 years of conflict, and they never used the Strait as leverage until now when we attacked them? So, what is going on with that? And again, why didn't Trump listen to his team, or did his team not tell him that they were going to do this?
The point here is dealing with the Straits of Hormuz. Certainly, this is a prize that Iran does not want to give up. And what do I mean by that? It was the vehicle they used to get a ceasefire when they took control of it. They have never, ever had control of the Straits of Hormuz before. They will likely open it, but what they want to do is maintain authority over it. And they are claiming right now that this is their water and Oman's waterway, and therefore they have territorial control over it.
No, actually, they don't hold the rest of the world hostage by sponsoring terrorism. That's us. We do that. So then we're going to go to Dana Perino. Now, Dana Perino is a Fox News pundit. She's not a liberal Fox News pundit, and she is still going to glaze Trump's tail a little bit. But you can hear it in her voice. They are having a hard time. They're having a hard time spinning this as a positive for Trump versus what it is doing and hurting Americans and the global economy. And so we're going to talk about that. As we're sitting here, lovely, now you can go away because you slurred. Awesome, good for you. I'm so proud of you for that. I hope you're proud of yourself. So, go away. Guys, 59 viewers over on YouTube. If you could hit that thumbs up button for me, I would appreciate it so very much. And if you are over there on TikTok, guys, make sure we are still doing the good things. I would appreciate it. Keep tapping. You guys are doing wonderful on the taps, by the way. I do want to let you know that we have hit 36,000 likes, so we're way ahead of schedule. And so I appreciate that from you. I also have 8647 left in my goal. If you would like to start getting that down, again, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo in the link tree in my bio. We can start getting that down. I have the little, what are they? Little TikToks. We can get those accomplished as well, and I would appreciate it. So here is Dana Perino from Fox News. And again, she's still going to try to spin this as positive for Trump. However, you can hear it in her voice. There's an issue here. And she brings up General Keene's interview, which is why I played that first.
Iran is definitely weaker than it was before because of President Trump. So not only with the Soleimani killing in the first term, but Operation Midnight Hammer, and then this more recent operation which took out all the leaders, not all, most of the leaders, 46 or 47 of them, and most of the ballistic missile program, but not enough to say that that is over.
Arturo, I agree. Europe is suffering right now. Everybody is suffering right now, but I don't think that's a good enough reason to keep doing this.
They are weakened, but Iran still maintains the ability to cause some pain. And the Strait of Hormuz is one of them. However, it is a good thing for us that we have all of the Gulf allies on our side to say, no, the Strait needs to be open and we have to go back to the way it was. Nobody gets charged. That's the way that it has to be. I think the realistic scenario is that we go, as General Keane said this morning.
Boda, we do have plenty of our own oil. Can we refine it and use it?
Keane, excuse me, that he doesn't think that we're going back to using any weapons. He thinks that President Trump has chosen
Which lies, Gary? I'm happy to address them. What lies?
A diplomatic path. And so I guess you try to get to the best deal that you possibly can. And in that scenario, you deal with long-term containment. And how different does it look from before? Well, as I said, they're weaker. And you get some sort of deal on the uranium in a way that is...
Now remember, Donald Trump said we don't need to get the uranium. He said the only reason we would need to get it is for PR. Remember that.
Assured to the Americans and to the allies in the region, of course, to Israel. And then you have to deal with sanctions. But I would imagine that President Trump is not afraid to use military force. Obviously, he's willing to do it. And I believe that if they keep that threat at the ready and Iran believes that that threat is at the ready, that the long-term containment could actually be assured. But I'm not sure.
But I'm not sure. We are sitting in an unknown on something that did not need to happen. And the administration has not been able to explain to us why it needed to happen, because apparently we obliterated it, and Pete Hegseth said what we are doing is bombing their ambition. So then Fox News reported this this morning. So we get a lot of Fox today, and I'm so sorry, but 47 years. Fox News is the one who reported this, that Iran supposedly released a draft proposal of things that did not coincide with U.S. goals. And I'm going to show you the tweet of the White House's reaction after. It's actually pretty hilarious.
New this hour, Iran's state TV is putting out what it claims is a draft of the initial framework with the U.S. Now, there are a number of points in here that appear to be very out of step with a lot of the U.S. red lines. So take this information with a very large grain of salt. But Iran is claiming that the memorandum of understanding would have the U.S. withdraw forces and lift the naval blockade in exchange for Iran restoring commercial traffic through the Strait of Hormuz within a month, with all ship traffic managed by Iran. They further claim if a deal is reached, it would become binding with a UN Security Council resolution. We have heard no updates from the U.S. side, but the White House has repeatedly pushed back on premature reports and inaccurate reports about what these discussions entail. This is new from Iran today, so likely we'll hear some response from the White House. But today the president is set to meet with his cabinet to discuss all of this after scrapping plans to convene at Camp David due to bad weather, the same place where he convened his cabinet last year just before bombing Iran's nuclear sites. The stakes are very high. Iran accused the U.S. of a grave violation of the ceasefire after CENTCOM carried out what it described as defensive strikes on missile launch sites and Iranian boats trying to lay mines. Iran vowed to respond, and all of this was just days after the president announced a deal to end the war was largely negotiated. Iran is demanding, apparently, $24 billion in frozen funds to agree to all of this, prompting concern from lawmakers about emboldening Iran and also prompting a response from President Trump, who's pushing back against anyone who doubts his ability to make a good deal. Last night, Vice President Vance spoke to NBC about these negotiations in a call. He described himself as extremely hopeful, but said, quote, "I think the more difficult question is whether they agree to the kind of enforcement mechanism, the kind of monitoring mechanism that gives us confidence they won't violate the deal in the future."
You mean like the IAEA being able to come in and inspect? If only there was an organization called the IAEA. And if only we had a deal with them, with Iran, to be able to inspect. Oh, the JCPOA.
So the president.
I was like, that, and also the fact that they're still under the NPT, so they are always going to be getting looked at by the EIA or whatever.
IAEA.
Sports. I think that's what I confused it from. But I mean, but what do we know, right?
Meeting is set for 11 a.m. and we do expect to see the.
And it's happening right now, and I just want everybody to know, as much as I'm really trying not to cover what's going on right now, it's not going well. Donald Trump's already talking about the fact that Ken Paxton won his primary and saying that he's got it, and so I don't care about the midterms. So that's fun. He also confused confused Venezuela for Iran, saying that despite the conflict with Venezuela, who no longer has a navy, no longer has an air force, no longer has a lot of people that were leading the country into very bad places, and their leadership is gone. But Peepaw's okay, right? Anyway, Fox News reported that. And the White House quote tweeted it, so I'm going to show you. So this is the video we just watched from Fox News. I pulled it from Fox News' actual Twitter. This is their response. This report from Iranian-controlled media is not true, and the MOU they released is a complete fabrication. Nobody should believe what Iranian state media is putting out. Facts matter. What facts? Where are the facts? Is it not factual that they put this out? Because you keep touting a deal, and Iran keeps coming out and saying no. So which one is true? All right. So, Washington Post, he's the intelligence sector of the Washington Post. His name is Josh Rogan. No relation because it's spelled different, no relation. CNN. And he's there talking about the choices that Trump is kind of left with in regards to this. And again, we've talked about this multiple times. Trump is left with sinking his teeth in deeper and just staying in this mess, or trying to find a way to just say, we won, this is it, walk away. And I think he's trying to find an off-ramp and trying to find a way to walk away. But right now he's just having a really nice time manipulating the stock market, and he addresses that as well.
The president has exactly two choices. He can pay Iran to open the strait, or he can suffer the indignity of continuing this quagmire longer and longer. And because I listen to the Scott Jennings radio show religiously, I know that the White House has no intention of paying them to open up the strait. Senior administration officials told Scott Jennings exclusively, you should check it out, that they're only going to pay them at the end of the process, not at the beginning of the process. The Iranians, by the way, are not going to go for that. That means this deal that they've been bragging about, which usually they brag about right before the markets open, it's usually right before the markets open that there's a lot of good news, and then somehow the markets go up, and then over the course of a couple of days we find out that it was all BS. It turns out that that's all BS, because what's going to happen is that they're not going to want to strike this horrible deal, according to Scott Jennings' top-level sources. And that means that the deal's not going to be struck, and the war's going to go on, quite sadly, actually. The president has...
I don't think he knows how to get out of this, because he was an idiot to get into it. So that's fun. That's where we're sitting at. Okay, and we continue. This one it's not related to Iran, but it's related to the DOD, and so it made me laugh. I just want everybody to see that first off, there's this tweet about it, and then we'll get into the rest of it. But House Republicans have released the text of a major defense policy bill for 2027. The name of the Pentagon would not be changed under this legislation. I have told you guys this multiple times. It is the DOD until Congress makes a law to change it, and they have not done so, even though they have a Republican majority. So it is still the Department of Defense. And when you look through the paper, or when you look through it, he says there's 196. I found 62 mentions of, because I put in defense, 196 mentions of Department of Defense and 0 for Department of War. Now, yes, that is just a tweet. You're right. I agree with you. That's just a tweet. Oh, except I found it. Subcommittee print, 119th Congress, House of Representatives, making appropriations for military construction, the Department of Veteran Affairs and related agencies for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2027, and for other purposes. You can do this fancy thing, Control F, or if you're on a Mac, Command F. As you can see, it's still in there. Defense, I found 62, not 192, but Department of Defense, which it's capitalized, so they're talking about the department. Military construction, defense, Department of Defense, Secretary of Defense, Department of Defense. It doesn't change just because he says so. I just want to show you guys that. It is just a small instance of the things you guys let him get away with and the things you believe because he says them. They don't mean anything if it doesn't go through a federal process. Okay? It is still the Department of Defense, and that is why I will continue calling it that, because that's what it is. So that was just me being petty, and also just maybe you can have some critical thinking skills. Just try. He went outside to paint defense. That was funny. Okay. So let's move to economy. I'm going to move to the economy. I got this right at the end yesterday, and I wasn't able to play it, but Kevin Hassett admits that thing about tariffs that you guys don't like to admit, which is that it caused imports to become more expensive. He literally says it in this clip. My work is done here, Chris.
So yes, we've shown that there's two effects. There's the tariff effect of the import becoming more expensive, but then there's the
I'm sorry. What, Kevin?
That there's two effects. There's the tariff effect of the import becoming more expensive, but then
there's the tariff effect of the import becoming more expensive. Where are all of my tariff bros who, one, thought or still think that you are charging another country. You need this video? Absolutely. I forgot to send you the other ones. They're in my outline, and I forgot which ones I was supposed to send. I'm so sorry. I will send this one right now. But again, where are all the tariff bros who said that tariffs are charged to other countries? Where are the people who said, no, it doesn't make stuff more expensive? Well, he just said it. You know what? Let's listen to it again.
The tariff effect of the import becoming more expensive, but then there's a substitution of domestic production, which creates more income here and so on. And so,
except we're not seeing evidence of that. We are not seeing evidence of substitution of domestic production here. But, at least he admitted it. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate that. Was it good for you? It was good for me. So let's do, I'll get you those ones in a second. We're back to Fox Business, guys, where the AGCO CEO is talking about the fact that we are forecasting that fertilizer cost, which is already up because of this war with Iran, it's not going to come back down anytime soon. And even when it starts to come back down, it's going to start hitting the food supply. The cost of fertilizer is going to start hitting the food supply.
When you heard what he had to say, when do you think food prices go up?
Well, it's going to show up fairly soon. It should show up by the end of summer, I would think. Higher food prices. He's talking about grain prices. Price of wheat is up by more than 20% from a year ago. Soybeans up by 11%. Let's not forget that 1/3 of the world's fertilizer comes through the Strait of Hormuz, and that explains why, since the start of the Iran conflict, the price of fertilizer is up by 44%.
Not much we can do about it in the near term, is there?
Yeah,
open the straits and get the stuff flowing.
And it's just not fertilizer, it's also diesel. Farmers use diesel. People complain about the fact the price of gasoline is higher 40% from a year ago. The price of diesel up 74%. My goodness.
That's a huge. When you heard what he had.
So that's bad. Now, that's a CEO saying that, which is interesting because you would think he would be totally on board with that by making more money, right? That's what Kevin Hassett keeps touting us, as you guys keep saying, we have so much oil. Yeah, great. The corporations are making money. I'm so happy for them. So I always check every morning. I go to Yahoo Finance just to kind of look at what it looks like, right? And kind of see what they're saying. A lot of the times, again, I hate the stock market because it is a speculative market. Donald Trump has been saying for the last few days, as I just showed you from the CNN pundit who is from WAPO, is that he makes statements that we're very close to a deal. Marco Rubio says we're very close to a deal, so the stock markets rally. But I do check them every single day. It's just something I do. But I found this article that the Yahoo Finance was showing us from Bloomberg. Hold on one second. I need to do this real quick. Thank you guys, by the way, for hitting those little penny goals. We're going to move on to some finger hearts. I appreciate you guys doing all of those good things. And guys, keep tapping that screen. We're starting to fall behind a little bit. We have about 12 minutes until the top of the hour where we should hit 50,000 likes. So let's make sure we're doing those good things. I would appreciate it. If you're over there on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help. I appreciate it. You can hit it too if you want to. It's fine. It's fine. But I have 8647 left in my goal as well. Guys, can we please try to get that down today? I really do need the help. And so Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, if you guys could help contribute, we can do a $1 train. We can do a $2 train. Show me or send me some messages for me to read out. I would appreciate it very, very much. All right, Bloomberg. Americans are about to pay even more at the grocery store. As Americans confront a surge in prices at the pump, another inflation wave is headed for the grocery store. A combination of factors, including bad weather, tariffs, and a dwindling cattle herd, are already pushing up grocery prices at an above-average pace. We've seen the price of beef. We saw this before. There is an issue in our cattle with a screwworm. It's something that we've talked about before, but also we then started importing from Argentina, which is not very America first, but the prices are still up even regardless of that. In April, they rose by the most in nearly 4 years, and economists say the impact of the Iran war and a potential El Niño weather pattern will only add to pressures into 2027. The hit to U.S. household finances from higher grocery bills is set to intensify just ahead of the November midterm elections, which Donald Trump doesn't care about, amplifying affordability as a defining issue, and to a greater extent than the surge in gas prices. The slower-moving food shock will be difficult to reverse quickly because the size of autumn harvests is determined by planting decisions made in the the spring. It's going to be a challenge year, said Ricky Volpe, an agribusiness professor at California Polytechnic State University, who previously worked at the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Economic Research Service. Food is going to become less affordable, and consumers should be prepared for it. The latest USDA food price outlook published Friday projected a 3.2% advance in grocery prices this year, while Volpe said he expects inflation more on the order of 4% to 4.5%. Then they go into somebody who's going to deal with it directly, an anecdotal thing. Outsized price increases so far in 2026 have reflected a mix of bad luck, trade policy, and slower moving pressures linked to climate change. The weather in particular has not been kind to American farmers who have endured outbursts of record-breaking heat, historic cold, ping-pong-sized hail, and wildfires. But remember, it does say trade policy. As trade policy is not doing well. The U.S. saw its warmest ever start to the year, with temperatures running about 6 Fahrenheit 3 Celsius above average through the end of April. According to the National Centers for Environmental Information, the early heat prompted some domestic crops to begin blossoming weeks ahead of schedule instead of remaining dormant throughout the winter, leaving them exposed to subsequent frost, according to Brad Rippey, a USDA meteorologist. Now, again, this is being reported by Bloomberg. But as I will always show you, I wish they would have hyperlinked it. They should have hyperlinked it. It would have taken them 2 more seconds. Here is the food price outlook summary findings. This is for 2026. Remember, they're basing it off of fiscal year. But in 2026, prices for all food are predicted to increase 3.4% with a prediction interval of 2.2 to 4.7%. Food at home prices are predicted to increase 3.2%, and that is where they're getting it from. I just want to be able to show you primary source so you can see that's from the USDA. That is Donald Trump's USDA, okay? Again, we are in a war we do not need to be in, and it is causing hardship on the American people, and for some reason, you guys don't seem to care. Okay, CNN goes into it as well. They have a report about kids missing meals and how households cannot afford food. Guys, can I have W's to Olive for the dollar train? Choo-choo! Thank you so much. So that brings us down to 8547. I appreciate it so much. And as I say that, thank you, Juicy Juice. W's to Juicy Juice for the $2 train. You said for Toofy, Twain. Choo-choo! Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I can do that, man. It's 3.
If I invest in a whistle, would that be beneficial?
Maybe. Look, one of the big wood ones with the...
Yeah, no, an actual train whistle.
Yeah, actual train whistle. I need props now? Is that what I need to do? Okay, sure.
Reserve Bank of New York releasing brand new details on food insecurity and consumer pessimism. The report says in part, quote, "We find a remarkable increase in food insecurity, particularly among lower educated and lower income households and households with young children." Let's go live now to CNN senior reporter Matt Egan. Matt, you have poured through this report. What more does it say?
Well, Pamela, this is a sobering report, and it's another reminder of how beneath the surface of those positive economic headlines on low unemployment and high stock prices, many American families are struggling right now. So the New York Fed found that as of February, 10% of households say that they had trouble finding enough food for their families, or they even had kids who missed meals. That means 1 in 10 families in America were suffering from food insecurity as of February. Now, this is a trend that's moving in the wrong direction because this is up from 8% in the fall and 4% back in June of 2020. And that's just overall families, right? This report found an even higher share of low income and less educated households are suffering from food insecurity, and non-white households. 19% of non-white households say that they had trouble finding enough food or even had kids who were skipping meals, and that's up from 4.5% back in June of 2020. This report also found a significant increase of families who are on food stamps. When you're looking at a SNAP.
Yeah, Blue, nobody's starving in America. Right.
benefits. Back in June of 2020, it was less than 11% of households on food stamps. Now it's 18%. When you look at non-white households, also moving in the right direction. Now 26% of non-white households in America say that they're on food stamps. And there was also an increase in this survey of people who say they've been forced to dip into savings or that they've been forced to accept donations for food from friends and from family as well. And the New York researchers, they say that they found a likely link between food insecurity and consumer confidence, because we know that the University of Michigan has found that consumer sentiment, it's never been lower than it is right now. You can see
which we talked about. We've talked about multiple times the consumer sentiment going down. And of course, there would be a correlation. If you have some sort of food insecurity, your consumer sentiment is absolutely going to go down. Hi, Tommy. W's, can I get W's to Jolie, please, for the $2 train? Choo-choo. I definitely need a train whistle now. Thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Just those little bit of those dollar trains and $2 trains, they do help. I promise you they do help. So let's keep going with that.
on that chart that goes back to 1980, sentiment is at all-time lows right now, lower than during the 2008 financial crisis or even during the 1980s period of high inflation. And Pamela, unfortunately, the war in the Middle East, it could make matters even worse because there's been a spike in prices for fertilizer, for the diesel fuel that farmers use and that truckers need. And so this could be a situation where food prices go even higher in the coming weeks and months.
So again, all indicators that we are getting is that food prices are going to keep going up. And like you said, Jamie, I agree. I don't know where the empathy has gone. Rugged individualism has truly, truly destroyed this country. Where you stopped caring about people eating. I do not get it. In that same vein, though, we do have Fox Business talking about farm bankruptcies and how we are seeing it surged up 46% last year, and that it looks like it's going to get worse. So again, thank you, Donald Trump, for once again, from your first term to your second term, making it so that most likely and more likely family farms and small farms go bankrupt. Thanks for that.
Very tough time for farmers, and it actually could get worse. The USDA is warning farmers. Chapter 12 farm bankruptcies have surged 46% last year, and the agency forecasts sector-wide debt to climb to a record $624.7 billion this year. So what does it take to keep the world fed when the economics of farming are under this much strain? Very tough time for farmers.
What happened to America first? What happened to caring for the everyday American? All of his promises have fallen flat because he didn't care. All he cared about was promoting, which is interesting because he used to be against it, but promoting things like crypto and promoting things like stock trading. Why would he post a truth with Palantir's ticker on it and then be in charge of deals with Palantir? Why would he promote Dell after taking out stock in Dell? Why would he do these things? Do you think there's some sort of insider trading going on, and would you like that stopped? I'm with you. But he's not. But apparently it's not about Americans and people and their kitchen tables. It is about crypto. It is critically important that the CFTC's exclusive authority over prediction markets is maintained and that they will thrive. Under my leadership, we are setting rules of the road that are the gold standard for the states. We cannot have scum like Chris Christie, Letitia James, Tim Walz, and J.B. Pritzker setting the rules. And what he means by that is he's trying to make it federally impossible, as it is right now, for states to make rules regulating the crypto market. Other countries are after this new form of financial market, which again directly competes with the dollar, which is bad, and we want to remain at the top. Likewise, and even more importantly, where we are currently the crypto, Bitcoin, etc. capital of the world, other countries are trying diligently to replace us in that capacity, but we won't let that happen. It is a major industry and we must protect it. Mike Selig, CFTC chairman and respected by all, is doing a great job. Thank you, Mike. This is for him to make money, and this is for his people to make money. It's not regulations on the farms. Stop it. Stop it. It is tariffs, and it is the war with Iran. Stop it. Yeah, as they build a UFC cage on the White House lawn. I don't even have I have them in my Twitter, but I don't have the clips from them in my outline today. It's fucking wild. And then remember yesterday I showed you Jeff Bezos and we showed you Bernie Sanders responding to Jeff Bezos talking about, don't double my taxes, it's not going to help anyone. Well, let's get to Mom Donnie about that. It's about not letting crypto be regulated. I know, Ruben, I just fucking said that. We should regulate crypto, right, Ruben? Hi, Ruben. Bye, Ruben. Guys, Ruben got muted because Ruben has been paid to be muted for a while. So goodbye, Sandwich. If you would like to continue to mute Ruben into the next millennia, please feel free to do so. Or if you would like to mute anybody in the YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok chat, only ops, obviously, and you would like to pay to do that, you can pay to do that.
Do you want someone muted in the chat? Is there someone who's spamming, making disingenuous arguments, displaying bot behavior, or maybe they're just a dumb bitch? Well, you can keep them muted and contribute to their degradation kink. But remember, while we don't kink shame, it is perfectly acceptable to kink ask why. You can keep them muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. Pay links in the bio.
All right, thank you so much for that, and that does help get my goal down if you guys do that, so make sure that we continue to do that, please. So here is Mom Donnie responding to Jeff Bezos saying, it's not going to help the teachering queens to tax me double.
Speaking of executives, Jeff Bezos told CNBC last week on taxes, and obviously, you know, what you've said about affordability is looming in the background of this. He said that you could double his taxes, and as he put it, quote, it's not going to help that teacher in Queens, I promise you. What was your response to that comment from Jeff Bezos?
You know, I know a few teachers in Queens who would beg to differ. And I think that if I was worth as much money as he was, then I would probably say the same thing. The fact of the matter is that we are talking about a city where 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty. And we're hearing from one of the richest men that our world has ever seen about how he and others who make that kind of money shouldn't have to pay their fair share. And frankly, what New Yorkers want to see is a tax system that recognizes the scale of this affordability crisis and actually provides a way for city government to be able to invest in those same New Yorkers in the manner that we used to decades ago.
Did he, Linetti? I have not seen that. Mom Donnie just won against Amazon having to pay $9 million in back taxes. Love that. Love that for them. Mom Donnie is getting things done. I'll need to find a time to put together the things he's implemented and what he's been able to get done in such a short period of time. I just have not had the time with everything else. So I'm going to move on to... Stephen Miller spoke, and there were multiple clips from it yesterday. The one that is in this same kind of vein, I guess the same vein, it's one of my favorite fucking phrases lately, I guess, is him talking about SNAP. Now, as somebody who has received SNAP, has reapplied and is waiting to hopefully be approved again for SNAP, I don't think Stephen Miller has ever looked into any kind of benefits ever. And so if you have had benefits, please be honest. Whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, just be honest about the process, because he's absolutely going to lie. And I will show you that even fucking Twitter was like, what?
The points that Andrew hit on in his remarks. All of the systems in our country, whether you're talking about voting, whether you're talking about entitlements, whether you're talking about welfare benefits, were set up based on the honor system. They're set up based on the idea that you could trust the average person through their own morality to abide by the rules and comply with the law. And so the way most welfare works in most states and most places...
So listen, he's going to explain how most welfare works in most spaces. Oh, wait, Amanda, when he talks about welfare, it makes me crash out.
The way most welfare works in most states and most places is we take your word for it. If you thought a piece of paper and you say your kids are hungry, you are going to get food stamps.
What? Has anybody? I know I have, multiple times. Have you applied for food stamps before? Have you applied for SNAP before? Is that how it works? I just sign a paper that says my kids are hungry and I get food stamps? I literally just reapplied 2 weeks ago. It says it's processed, and yet we have not gotten a response about whether we were approved or denied. That's not how any of this works. Isn't most fraud and welfare programs? No. You have to apply, and you have to put in all of your information, your job, what you make, your assets, the bills that you pay, how much it costs for your bills. And then a lot of the times, they'll call you. If they don't call you, okay, they looked into it. They have access to this information. Did you know that? They will look into your job, see how much you pay, because you have to provide your pay stubs. You don't just even get to write it in. You have to physically provide it or digitally provide your pay stub of what you make. You have to provide what you pay. And then if you get approved for SNAP, let's say you get approved. In 6 months, you got to do it all over again. You have to reapply every 6 months for SNAP. Why do you let him fucking lie to you? Why do you let him lie to you? I'm complaining about nefarious crypto coin actors and at the same time taking away people's voices for money. I would like the government to regulate it. This is private. This is a private platform. I can do whatever the fuck I want, Boda. But again, why do you let him lie to you? It wasn't taxes, it was fines. Got you. Thank you, Lynatti. I appreciate that. I will read about that later and add it to a section. Why do you let them lie to you? That is not how it works. That's not how SNAP works, as somebody who has had to apply to it and reapply every 6 months. And guess what? My husband has changed jobs before where we just got busy and did not notify them. They called him. It wasn't even the 6-month re-up period. They called him in the middle of that time frame and said, hey, it doesn't show that you are at this job anymore. And he's like, you're right. Let me send you my new pay stub. Do you know that? Or you just believe what Nosferatu says?
We don't check as a country if you even have kids.
Yes, they do! What? He's just fucking lying! Yeah, I have it, Duronimus. I just haven't talked about it yet. Yeah, you have to give them your social security number. You have to give them your kid's social security number. What? You have to give them your kid's social security number.
As basic as that. We don't even check if you even have children. You will just start getting the checks.
That's not true. And it's not a check. It's a card now.
So what's happened to our country is we became a society, as we've seen with the Somali refugee problem in Minnesota.
Oh, yay, racism.
Where you have a large number of people that are not following the honor system. They're not playing by the rules. They're not abiding by our laws. And the amount that has been fleeced from us is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. I believe, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, is that we could...
I believe... based off of what I've seen and what I've heard. Give me the source, Stephen Miller. Give me the information. Because all it sounds like is you were just trying to get rid of people who are trying to feed their kids. Because you don't know how the system works. Because you just lied about it.
Balance the federal budget if the only dollars that went out of the Treasury went to individuals.
You guys can keep insulting me. I keep seeing it. You're using slurs now, which is going to get you muted, which sucks. Use any other fucking word, and I literally don't care. You can call me a bitch, a whore, a cunt. I really don't give a fuck. Just don't use slurs. And you would be able to keep insulting me. I have no fucking problem with that. But you keep saying, why does she have a voice? She's low IQ. You use the R slur on me. Can you show me what he's talking about? Can you show me evidence that people are just calling SNAP or applying to SNAP without giving any other information besides saying, I have kids and we're hungry, and getting that money? Can you show me that? Show it to me. Don't call me names. Don't reduce yourself to the lowest form of lizard person. Actually think with critical thinking and give me information I've never seen before to read where that is happening. Show me.
Who are properly, lawfully, correctly eligible to receive them. And that ultimately is going to be what we have to do as a country. In the meantime, because the vice president...
Or you could do what Chris just did, which is clutch his fucking pearls and say, you don't think it is happening? Show me. Show me it's happening. Show me it's happening to a degree of hundreds of billions of dollars. Show me.
Leadership, you are seeing the most muscular, robust, aggressive, dedicated, determined, and speedy effort to shut down criminal fraud that has not only ever occurred in the history of this country, but in any developed nation. So thank you.
Except that's not what's happening. And he just fucking lied to you. And you guys just let him do it. W's. Can I get W's to Kelly for the 1447? I appreciate you so much, guys. That brings us down to Olive's true favorite number, which is 67.
Got there finally. It took you guys a while to do that. Can we do a little bit better than that, though, right? If someone can completely pay out the 67, I will say that number for the rest of the live.
That's crazy. Just every so often, you just throw it in there.
Yep.
But what's the thing is as much as MAGA, you may have bought into the bullshit, okay? Because you're poor and so you have to put down other poor people, or you suck so you have to put down brown people, or you suck so you have to put down women, or you suck so you have to put down the LGBTQ. You're totally fine, Kelly. W's to you. It's not working for everybody else, and it's actually doesn't seem to be working for Senate Republicans. So this is Fox Business. This is Stu, and he's talking about the fact that Senate Republicans are not thrilled with some of the things Trump is doing. Oh, let me do my puzzle piece. Okay. Which means you guys aren't tapping enough. If my puzzle piece came up, it means you guys are not being active. So now Dommy Mommy has to come out and yell at you. I need you guys to be tapping. I don't know what you're doing. Get your hand out of your pants. Make sure you wash those hands after you get out of the bathroom and start tapping. I promise you your partners will thank you for the dexterity that goes into tapping. Your thumbs, your index fingers, multiple fingers, whatever you choose to use. Make sure you're doing all those good things because TikTok said we're not being engaging enough. Okay?
Blue did the announcement thing.
He did, the one that Audrey doesn't like.
And dropped everyone.
Olive lied. She said she would go on cam and do a thing. DJ Bookie, are you being bad? Don't be
Hey,
bad.
yo,
Don't be bad.
for free.
Not to be fair, DJ Bookie paid me today.
Fair.
To be fair.
No, Lakin, I said if we come. Okay.
Senate Republicans are in near open revolt. They are not happy with President Trump. They're not happy with him injecting his personal vengeance on Senator Bill Cassidy in Louisiana. They're not happy with the $1.7 billion weaponization fund that pays off January the 6th rioters. And they're not real keen on the $200 million the president wants taxpayers to fork out for the ballroom, especially since it was originally promised to be paid for with private donations. On Friday, right before the Memorial Day weekend, the Republicans called off spending votes and went.
Lord Dementis, if you want to call the number on the screen, or if you would like to write it, I know you can't post links, but if you would like to write the title in the chat, I can absolutely write it down and I can look it up.
Home for their recess. The timing could hardly be worse. The midterms are looming, and so is the fight with Iran. Despite a ceasefire, they're still mining the strait and trying to impose a toll system.
I love that you guys are attacking Arturo. I just want you to know that Arturo is just not a Trumper, but that doesn't mean he necessarily agrees with me in all these things. He's been in the chat for the last few days, and I've been very appreciative of him being here. And he actually gives me sources when I ask for them on things that we actually disagree with. So.
The price of gas still well above $4 a gallon here, and it's 9 or.
Oh my God, Lord Dementis, we're talking about Snap. And you said that Nick kid found it all and Walls kept deflecting. Not true. You can go to my previous videos where I've covered it. We covered Nick Shirley. I have watched all his videos on my fucking stream. We have talked about it. We talked about the fact that they were already investigating fraud in Minnesota a year before Nick Shirley talked about it. CBS did a segment on it 2 months before Nick Shirley got to it. Nick Shirley didn't do anything. Okay?
$10 a gallon in Europe. Even if the strait was open soon, it would reportedly still take months to clear out the logjam of oil tankers. Time is not on the president's side. Next week, the Senate returns.
If it gave you a source, you would just say it's Fox News propaganda. What's the source? You do know that Fox News, CNN, NBC, CBS, those are all secondary sources, right? So I would like to see where their primary source is. Why can't you just do that?
And there will be another challenge to the president's authority to continue the war. In other words, in the next 10 days, it'll be crucial for the Trump presidency. He's not in good shape politically.
It has Nick Shirley has me dancing. The fact that you can't spell his name is interesting. because it's very frustrating that you guys believe this young, dumb kid who literally has done nothing but go, hey, you have a nice car. Are you committing fraud? Oh, they didn't answer me. They must be committing fraud. Let me add it to my little tally that I put at the bottom of my video. That's not investigative journalism. It's like he's a disingenuous prick.
His approval rating is at an all-time low.
I didn't say post links. I said post a goddamn title of an article with the source and I will look it up. These instructions are not hard.
He's not in good shape economically.
It's their secret. They always don't have sources. It's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
$4 gas is wildly unpopular, and inflation is still very much with us. The Wall Street Journal says the president needs a second-year reset. There's not that much time left.
There's not that much time left. And apparently Donald Trump doesn't care, as we're getting clips of this morning. But you know how I know it's not working? It's not working because you have people like Mike Flood, Representative Mike Flood, a Republican from Nebraska, who is an absolute Trump taint glazer, piece of shit, who literally goes on camera all the time. Thank you so much, Rib Tip, for the chilies. I appreciate it. Goes on camera all the time to glaze Trump and say Trump is doing great. That tune changed quite a bit when he got home, didn't it? Didn't it?
What I would say to your question about this fund that came to light last week from the Department of Justice is that I have never approved that. I do not think 1 penny of any fund should ever go to any January 6th insurrectionist that was in the Capitol on January 6, 2021. I want to be very clear.
Ooh, I just want to take note of it. I just want you guys to hear it. I want you guys to hold on to it. Make sure we watch Mike Flood anytime he comes on camera. Anytime he gets asked about the anti-weaponization fund, and especially if it goes to a vote, because guess what? They're already proposing in the House and in the Senate ways to gut this fund, ways to block it, to make sure it does not happen. Keep track of Mike Flood's vote, not what he says to his constituents to get re-voted in, to get re-elected. Okay? Let's make sure we take note of his actual voting.
I want to be very clear. I do not think we should be creating a fund for people that commit physical violence against law enforcement. Here's what I would say.
By the way, Lord Dementis doesn't know what a taint is. I'm so sorry.
As I understand it, and this comes from some of my colleagues in the Senate is opening a oversight effort, and we in the House have to determine.
I cannot. Okay, so remember, Dementis is supposed to be getting me a source. He's supposed to be writing it instead of crying that he can't post links in the chat. He just got muted, but he said Alex Jones proved it. Alex Jones. Alex Atrazine, the water is turning, the frog's gay, Sandy Hook parents are crisis actors, lost my motherfucking business, and the Onion bought it out. Alex Jones proved it. Sure, Dementis. Sure.
Whether we do the same in the Judiciary Committee or in the Oversight Committee. I clearly think Congress needs to have an oversight role in this before I can sign off or support this. But listen, this is less than a week old, so I am going to be back in Washington on Tuesday. I will say this, though. I do not want $1 of that going to anybody who physically assaulted police officers, period.
Well, we'll see, won't we? The Republicans might not keep track of you, Mike Flood, but I damn sure will. So make sure we keep track of that, okay? Guys, 11:18, let's keep going. We are at 72,000 likes. You guys are doing fantastic because we should be hitting about 75,000 before we hit 11:30 Mountain Time. So you guys are doing fantastic. Thank you so much for helping to do that. I appreciate it. Guys, make sure we're doing the good things. Again, over there on YouTube, if you're in there and you have not hit that thumbs up button, I would appreciate it. It does help. I see you guys over on Twitch as well. Speaking, Surgeon, you were very, very pissed about the Stephen Miller propaganda, and I agree with you. It fucking makes me crash out. Legitimately makes me crash out when they talk that way. So we're going to move on to AI. I think maybe we might be seeing the bubble pop. I hope. God, Jesus, I hope. But I hope, but I don't hope at the same time. It's like the housing crisis. It's like, yeah, I probably should have, but you also don't want it to. So we're starting to see things. This one in particular. Uber's COO says it's getting harder to justify the money spent on AI token maxing. A top Uber executive said AI is not giving the company bang for its buck. In a rapid response interview released on Saturday, Uber's operations chief, Andrew McDonald, said it was becoming harder to justify AI costs within the company. He said that Uber CTO, Praveen Napalinaga, went viral after telling the information in an April interview that Uber had already blown through its Claude Code budget for 2026. The comment led to what he described as a, quote, head-exploding moment, sparking discussions about AI token consumption within the company and the trade-offs it creates. Yeah, the Pope comments. Burgum was not happy about those. And the trade-off it creates, such as on headcount. He said that based on talks with Uber's senior engineering leaders, he realized higher token usage did not translate into proportional increase in useful consumer features. That link is not there yet, right? He said, I think maybe implicitly there is more that is getting shipped, but it's very hard to draw a line between one of those stats and, okay, now we're actually producing 25% more useful consumer features. So we're not finding the correlation between using more AI and actually having better consumer features. He said that the trade-off costs from AI are harder to justify because he can't draw a direct link. Earlier this month, CEO Dara Khosrowshahi said in an earnings call that Uber was slowing hiring to counter its investments in AI. So they are hiring less human people. That was because of how much they've invested in AI. Again, where is the America First for the jobs? Why are we not regulating AI and corporate usage of AI? We should be doing that at a legislative level. The Republican majority Congress is not doing that. McConnell added that AI can seem free if you're, quote, just a user sitting there coming up with interesting use cases without paying for it. But ultimately, the company foots the bill. While big tech is going hard on token maxing, using AI as much as possible, and evaluating employees by their AI usage, some companies are starting to go the other way. Duolingo, for instance, walked back its decision to include AI usage in performance reviews after employees asked whether they had to use AI for the sake of using it. Quote, it felt like rather than being held accountable for the actual outcome, we were trying to push something that in some cases did not fit, Duolingo CEO Louis Von Ahn said in a podcast interview in April. So we're starting to see issues with the use of AI. Now, I've been rallying that it's not something we're going to be able to stop, right? No, I agree, Melissa. That's the problem, right? Why would Congress regulate AI when they get lobbied by it? I think that's the problem. They shouldn't be allowed to be lobbied by these people. I think that is where ending Citizens United comes in and making sure that these corporations don't get to act like individuals and don't get to donate millions and millions of dollars. So, I've played this video for you guys before, and I'm going to play it again. This is Sam Altman, and he is talking about the fact that he would like to see, he calls it intelligence, we know we're talking about AI, he would like to see intelligence become a utility. He would like to see it being something equivalent to usage of like water and electricity. Now, in my commie little heart, that's going to make you all mad, my commie little heart, we should not be charging for water and electricity anyway. I think that those are necessities, and I think everybody has a right to those necessities. But the fact that he wants AI to be included and be measured by a meter just shows he is just ready to fleece everyone. He is about making money. That's it. That's all. This is also the same person who wants the government to back them in case anything goes wrong because they are bleeding money. Very similar to how the banks did prior to 2008 and during and after 2008 by being too big to fail, and the government had to bail them out.
Fundamentally, our business, and I think the business of every other model provider.
What about private property rights? You can have private property as long as it's not for profit.
Is going to look like selling tokens. You know, they may come from bigger or smaller models, which makes them more or less expensive. They may be running all the time in the background trying to help you out. They may run only when you need them if you want to pay less. They may work super hard, you know, spend tens of millions, hundreds of millions, someday billions of dollars on a single problem that's really valuable. But we see a future where intelligence is a utility like electricity or water, and people buy it from us on a meter and use it for whatever they want to use it for.
And even that in and of itself, he's admitting they use it on a meter and we get to charge whatever we want to charge for it. We get to make up that cost. And it's a necessity. You're going to need it. So you're going to need to buy it from us. And you're absolutely going to pay what we charge you. The right hates socialism until it's to exclusively benefit corporations. See Lemon Socialism. Absolutely, right? Yeah, no, we'll bail them out with our money, but that's not socialism. And I hate socialism. Right, exactly.
The demand
Not for profit, any industry? Yeah. Why do we need money?
that we see for that seems like it's going to continue to just go like this. And if we don't have enough, we either can't sell it, or the price gets really high and it, kind of goes to rich people, or society makes a bunch of sort of central planning decisions that I think almost always go badly about, we're going to use our limited compute supply for this and not that. So the best thing to me throughout all the history of capitalism, innovation, whatever you want, is to just flood the market.
Yeah.
Gross. No. Don't be a bull in a china shop, maybe. Actually slow down and think about what you are creating and its use and what it does to the people, to the environment. The amount of you that use ChatGPT as if it is some sort of godsend for you to let it think for you, you have stopped thinking. And that's a problem. Unfortunately for us, that means that they're going to continue doing it. And why are they going to continue doing it? Because it makes them money. And so what he did is Trump has appointed former Attorney General Pam Bondi to White House Science Panel. President, he looks strung out. He probably is, Billy. To be honest, I think most of the people when we talk to, like if you look, let's look at Alex Cart. You want to see what that motherfucker looks like? Tell me he's not doing something. You want to see Curtis Yarvin? Tell me he's not doing something. You want to see Peter Thiel? I always spell his name wrong and I apologize for that. Look at that. Who else we got? Let's do Elon. They're all on something. Every single one of them. All right, President Trump has appointed former Attorney General Pam Bondi to his panel on science and technology nearly 2 months after he fired her as the head of the Department of Justice. Bondi will serve on the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology, PCAST, joining several business and technology leaders, a White House official confirmed. It comes as Bondi recovers from treatment for thyroid cancer, Axios first reported. Pam has been an enormously valuable asset to the President's team, and I'm thrilled for her and for all of us that she's going to remain involved in confronting some of the most important issues the administration faces, Vice President Vance said in a statement shared by the White House. David Sachs, the co-chair of the council, said on social platform X that no one is being positioned to support PCAST and to advise the president on legal and regulatory matters than Bondi, or no one is better, adding he is excited to have her on board. Sachs served as Trump's White House AI and cryptocurrency czar up until earlier this year. Trump understands the unnecessary regulation is the biggest threat to innovation in America. Winning the AI race means not only beating China, but also clearing bureaucratic hurdles thrown up by the state legislators and woke politicians in D.C. So again, well, yeah, we knew he wasn't done with her. He just hit her. He was going to hide her away, but that didn't work. And again, she still is getting out or trying to avoid a subpoena. But no. Absolutely not. We're going to continue with that. Guys, it's almost 11:30. You guys have well surpassed that. I think you can get to 100,000 likes. You have 30 minutes to get to 100,000 likes. I think you guys can do it over here on TikTok. Guys, I do have the finger hearts. If we could start getting those accomplished, that would be wonderful. If you have some extra coins to throw at me, I would appreciate it so very much. And guys, I have 7 left in my goal. Can we work on that, please? We did not get my goal accomplished yesterday. We didn't even get it halfway. Very close, but not quite halfway. Can we please work on that? I'm literally paying the bills with my money right now. So anything that you can give, I would appreciate. Again, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, in the link trees in my bio if you would like to help me be a grifty liberal, because that's what they think that I am. John, you said tariff the world. I don't think you understand what a tariff is or how it works. And I specifically just showed a video this morning about Kevin Hassett admitting that it increases the cost of imports. Cool. We're going to move on to some election stuff that I didn't get to yesterday. and this has already had an update to it, but the court rejects Alabama House map, calling it unfair to black voters. A panel of federal judges on Tuesday rejected Alabama's effort to use a new voting map for the November midterm elections, saying that the districts discriminated against black people and could not be used so shortly before a vote. Alabama's Attorney General Steve Marshall announced in a court filing Tuesday afternoon that he would immediately appeal to the Supreme Court. They have already asked. I saw the headline this morning on that, which last month ruled that a Louisiana congressional map drawn to create 2 majority black House districts was an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. Governor Kay Ivey, a Republican, has already set special primaries in August in 4 House districts that would be affected by her state's new congressional map. The ruling further confuses the electoral landscape across the South as Republican-led legislators have raced to implement new district lines after the Supreme Court narrowed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It also demonstrates how the ruling from the nation's highest court has further muddled how lower courts interpret the landmark civil rights case. So what they're saying is that they're not allowed to use Calais for Alabama, and we are going to see what the Supreme Court says about that if they take up the case. And in the seesaw battle over redistricting ahead of the midterms, Democrats seeking control of the House got 2 wins on Tuesday. The ruling in Alabama, plus, and I don't have the actual thing on this, but they do have it hyperlinked, the decision by South Carolina state senators to adjourn without drawing up a new map to eliminate that state's 1 black majority district. So the state Senate in South Carolina came out and said, we are adjourning and we are not going to draw up a new map. We're not going to do it, and we are going to have what we have. With thousands of votes already cast on the first day of South Carolina's early voting, there was no longer enough support among Republicans to push through new district lines before the state's June 9 primary. So what happened is the voice of the people came out. There were lines and lines of people signing petitions in South Carolina and also voting in South Carolina. And what it did is it pushed back on the Republicans trying to listen to Trump and trying to listen to what happened with Calais, where once the decision on Calais v. Louisiana happened, Governor Landry and the state decided they were going to throw out tens of thousands of votes that were already voted on in Louisiana, saying you now have to revote with our new map. South Carolina, the people said, absolutely the fuck not. We've already voted. You are not going to make this messy for us. Or Republicans saw that it was actually going to be harder to have Republicans come out and re-vote. And so they decided they weren't going to do this. And that is a small win in the election system. We will see what happens with Alabama. I did want to show, was it specifically these tweets, but I also have the actual documentation, right? So here is here is a tweet showing that, but then you also have this where it shows you part of it. Ultimately, we cannot see our way clear to requiring Alabamians to cast their votes in the 2026 elections under a districting plan tainted by intentional race-based discrimination. So that was their decision. And again, those are from a tweet, but I will always show you that I try to find the actual order. So here is your 102 pages from the actual court of the order in regards to how they cannot use Calais for Alabama. So again, that's going to go to the Supreme Court. Maybe. It depends on if they take up the case. Because remember, SCOTUS can also decide not to take up the case. So there is that. And then this is election related. So Ken Paxton did win his primary runoff with John Cornyn last night. It's funny because all the MAGA is touting this as some sort of win. Because Trump endorsed him. He endorsed a criminal. I'm shocked. A criminal endorsed a criminal. Oh my God, I'm so shocked. But on top of that, based off the polling that we're getting, again, polling is just a snapshot, and we will continue to see snapshots as we get closer to the midterms this year. Jesus Christ, it's getting so close. But the polling, actually, it looked like it was going to be a slimmer margin for Tallarico to try to beat Cornyn than it is for Paxton. It's going to be a lot harder. Why? Because he now has to win Cornyn voters, and Cornyn voters don't fucking like him. So it's going to be a hard battle for him to win, and there are already a lot of it's not about Tallarico at this point. It's the fact that conservatives and Republican voters in Texas do not like Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton, okay, was indicted on charges of fraud. He was impeached from his position by his own party because of fraud. He has given out multiple issues in way of sentencing for pedophiles. That is a fucking issue. Like, this man is a wreck and a half. So it's going to be an uphill battle for them. But at his little fancy, acceptance party that nobody was fucking at, You have, what's his name? I keep forgetting. Gill. Brandon Gill. Thank you. Yeah, Brandon Gill. And he makes a statement that I find interesting.
Go back, aren't we? Yeah! And you know what that means? That means that we are finally going to take our country back, aren't we?
From who? You guys are the ones in charge right now. Don't you remember? Donald Trump said he won by a landslide. He won all the swing states. He had a mandate because he won in Congress. Who are you taking it back from? You guys are the ones in charge. Absolutely, Kat. Permanent victim mentality. Who the fuck are you taking it back from? Yourselves? I thought you guys are winning. GOP NPC. He is. That's not a real human. They are like coded with the bumper sticker talking points that Trump gives you, and you guys just keep believing them. Rhino purge season. The problem is that you're breaking your party, and that doesn't help you for votes. Breaking up your own party for votes doesn't work. You know how I know? Because as a registered independent, we saw it within the Democratic Party. When you had leftists fighting liberals. Breaking up the votes in the party is never a good thing. So the fact that you're trying to tout it as a good thing, you all have fun with that. And just to get the season of it going started, James Tallarica.
No, Ken Paxton is clipping comments, taking them out of context to try to paint a picture, trying to paint me as someone I'm not. You know, Ken Paxton has a criminal record. I have a legislative record over 4 terms in the Texas House of Representatives, where I've brought Democrats and Republicans together to pass more than 60 bipartisan bills to cut property taxes, to raise teacher pay, to lower the cost of housing, prescription drugs, and childcare across Texas. And I'm going to put that record up against Ken Paxton's criminal record any day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Well, so guys, make sure you're paying attention if you're in Texas to keep doing the good things. Maybe phone bank, door knock, volunteer, donate if you can. Make sure you're doing all of the good things for the candidates that you want to see win, because money talks, and he's going to have money poured into the Paxton campaign. So make sure we are doing all of those things, please. I would appreciate it. Okay. So we're going to talk about immigration a little bit. Again, I showed you yesterday, and it continues. The shit that's going on at the Delaney facility in New Jersey is a fucking problem. And so last night, they were still there protesting, and with their legal right to do so, their constitutional right to do so, and they were maced and pepper sprayed, and even had a medics don't get involved in that same way, tackled. This clip is them being pepper sprayed, maced.
Go back! Back up! You better stay right there, sir. Stay right there. Move, guys, move.
Why the fuck is he shoving them? They're on public property. They have the right to be there. Call the cops if they're violating the law, right? Because you don't get to enforce state law. We know that. We've gone over this ad nauseum. Why are you pushing them? Blocking traffic is illegal. Right, Coyote, it might be. You would have to prove that it's blocking traffic, and they would have to be ticketed by the police, not by ICE. ICE does not have that jurisdiction. Congratulations, Coyote, you might learn something.
Make a line. Yo, if you grab me, stay back.
Sure, Coyote, that's proof for the cops. Have them call the police. ICE doesn't get to do this. That is not their jurisdiction. Try again.
Push him back. Push him back. Push him back.
beating them with batons. Which they're also not allowed to do. How comes no one's arresting ICE? Actually, Jake, did you know that Minnesota has recently indicted and has investigations into 2 different ICE officers? Did you know that? Minnesota has indicted 2 different ICE officers for misconduct. It's so funny to me when you guys go against protesting when that is what started the inception of our nation. It is really funny that you guys hate the Constitution so fucking much. It really is.
Did we not just put a bunch of tea in the harbor and scream about taxation without representation and went through a whole ass war kind of thing? I think what makes
2 officers for now. Jake, yeah, 2 for now.
I think the biggest thing that agitates me the most is I look at this and then I pivot back to J6, right?
Yeah.
And the agitator was not the officers. The agitators were the rioters on J6.
Which somebody, by the way, was in the chat defending that and saying it was peaceful, which is interesting that we pivot to here. And that opinion seems to change. Protesting doesn't give you the right to block traffic. That in and of itself is a protest, Coyote. However, it would violate state law. Call the cops. They, again, ICE, does not get to do this.
Back up! Fuck you! You go for Bravo! You back up! Jimmy, de-escalate! Stay on the sidewalk! Stay on the sidewalk! Stay out of here! On the sidewalk!
Also, by the way, who pays for the fucking streets?
We do, the people.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Stay on the sidewalk!
So now I'm going to get to, there's another like minute left of that, but I am going to get to, this is ICE tackling a medic in that same squabble that happened last night. Again, when the medics are there with the protesters, they're there to help the protesters. Most of the time, the medics are just in the perimeter and they're not protesting themselves. I just want you to know, if you're in the chat and you are supporting ICE in this, you are the stormtrooper, you are the Gestapo, you are the SS, you are the Nazi. I hope they fucking pick you. I have never met a group of fucking conservatives in my life that have been so cucked out for big government. You motherfuckers were the ones who wanted to be the libertarians and say, fuck that shit. Fuck big government, fuck any kind of police state, and now you are on your knees saying, give it to me more, Daddy Trump, to have it in your face. It's fucking weird. It's fucking disgusting. You guys should probably look at yourselves because you're a bunch of pieces of shit.
Throw shit. It's fucking stupid. Do not throw shit.
Let's
Hey,
targeting medics. He's on the other side of the road.
So they detained a medic. Fun. Can I get W's to Justin, please, for the dollar? Dollar Train, thank you so much. Choo choo. Apparently people like having certain numbers on screen too much. Really, is that the case? So that brings us down to 66. Guys, I have like 15 minutes left. Can we start working on that, please? I would appreciate it. I don't know what's going on the last couple days. I know times are hard, but this is my job. And if you guys want me to be here every day and do this, then I need that support, guys. I really, really do. Times are tough for me as well. This is my job. What I do for a living is putting this stuff together for you. Yesterday I showed you, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I'm looking at the chat here on Tube, right?
Yeah, they're just...
I never thought that in the divorce, in any kind of discourse that we have with Trump supporters, right, that we would end up being on the side of not only the Second Amendment, the side of the Constitution just in general, when I have been told for years that we believe in the Constitution, that the Constitution is a living, breathing document. But yet y'all got your panties in a twist and sure, at the start used your First Amendment for protesting. But then again, you stormed, you smeared shit on the walls, and Ashley Babbitt lost her life. Y'all were angry about that, but yet bat an eye when we talk about Renee Nicole Good or Alex Preddy or other Americans who have lost their lives to ICE agents, not even to mention the inhumane treatment of immigrants in general in these centers. The reason why people are at Delaney Center is because people are being treated as humans.
Exactly, which I'm going to get into as well. So Senator Kim, we saw Senator Kim in a short video where he had gotten either tear gassed or pepper sprayed yesterday. He actually went on CNN to talk about how that escalation happened. So
I tried my best to get between the ICE agents and the crowd as the ICE convoy decided to just go ahead and plow through the crowd, which was just absolutely so dangerous of an action that they were doing. So I remember, the pepper balls starting to get shot towards my feet and past me. I did not get hit directly by a pepper ball, but certainly between the pepper balls and then the pepper spray that was happening, I certainly had, irritation and burning sensation in my eyes and my throat. But more broadly, this was something that was avoidable. We were trying to find a way to be able to move forward that wasn't going to escalate in this way. But ICE decided that they just had enough and they were going to just move ahead. And I just thought that was an incredibly dangerous action for them to do. And that continued problems, that continued threat of violence and escalation continues today, tomorrow. I mean, we're seeing just a heightened level of danger right now in New Jersey. I tried my best to get.
That's why I told you guys yesterday when I brought it up that we need to be paying attention to this. So then MS Now reporting went on to talk about it as well, because that is why they're there. They're protesting about concerns over the conditions that are happening there right now.
Listen, the conditions continue to plague this facility.
I apologize for the sound being low. I have it up as much as I can, but there's obviously loud trucks and stuff in the background of him speaking.
Whether it's the healthcare treatment of individuals in there, whether it's the food that they're eating, the lack of ventilation, it's all an issue. It all continues to be an issue. But at the end of the day, the message that everyone inside has wanted us to make clear to everyone watching is that these are individuals who have no criminal records. These are mothers, fathers, people who are married to U.S. citizens, people who have U.S. citizen children. I've even had a pastor who's been here. So these are not the people that Trump talked about in 2024. These are people that should not.
Remember, we were going to do criminals. We were going to get criminals out of the country, which I don't have any kind of problem with. No problem with. You can get criminals out of the country. But the problem is that we are not seeing criminals. We are seeing everyday people who are working their asses off in this country and have families in this country, and they're being detained, and they are being detained inhumanely. They are being denied their bond hearings, and they are being held in horrific conditions. And that is just not how you treat human beings.
Not be inside this facility. These are people that should be back home with their families, back in their communities as they navigate their immigration process. Listen.
Okay. Keep going. Yeah, I'll leave that one in a minute. So Tom Homan went out to talk again because of what's going on at Delaney. Now, what he does is he's going to repeat the same claim that I have talked to you about. I don't know why he thinks this is some sort of dunk. I really, really don't know why he keeps repeating this. Marble Mouth Tom Homan is going to say that the deaths in ICE custody are way less than the deaths in the federal prison system. I don't know why he thinks that's a dunk. To me, that's the same thing as when they come out and say, yes, the American people are hurting because of the war with Iran, but the other countries are hurting more. That's dumb to me. You're saying that, yeah, deaths are happening, but instead of saying we're going to go out of our way to fix it and make sure that the conditions are well and that these people are getting the medical care they deserve, instead of doing that, we're going to tell you about all the deaths in federal custody. All you're doing, Tom Homan, is bolstering our point on the left that you need to get rid of for-profit fucking prisons, and we need an absolute reform of our system. Thank you for being on our side, Tom.
And look at ICE's detention standards. The highest detention standards in the industry.
I would like to see the source on that.
Better than any state prison, county jail, or federal lockup. Highest detention standards in industry. Deaths in custody, they're talking about people being mistreated. Deaths in custody in ICE is a fraction of any state prison or federal facility. A fraction. And we have.
Now, I know you couldn't understand that because he mumbled a fraction of
of any state prison or federal facility.
Any state prison or federal facility. Cool. So then we need to work on the deaths that are happening in ICE detainment, and we need to work on the deaths happening in the state and federal sector. Thank you, Tom Homan. I'm glad we could get on the same page. Why don't you work on that? Actually work on doing that. So then Mark Wayne, baby back bitch McMullins comes out and he issues the same threat that he has been issuing, which is that he plans to take away international flights to sanctuary cities.
Especially the fact that local law enforcement wouldn't respond. And so I visited with the...
No, Jared, if you are here illegally, you are not a criminal because you have to be charged with a crime, Jared, because we have due process in this country. Jared, which then you said illegals are parasites, Jared, so you're just a bigot, Jared. No, innocent until proven guilty, right? Hi, Ari.
Yo, what's up?
Zach.
I just want to say hi.
Feeling it
Hello.
up.
I gotta. Huh? I've been here the whole time, actually.
The ceiling, inflation, gas prices.
Oh.
All the things.
I thought you said I had a feeling you'll show up.
Oh, no.
You,
No, you
like,
asked
that's what I was
what
like,
it's
oh,
up.
yeah, no, I've been here the whole time.
I'm sorry.
Can I get W's
Yeah.
to Chris, please? Huge W's to Chris. I want to see W's in the chat. Thank you for the $25. You said thank you for all you do. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it, guys. I truly, truly do. I know I have to berate you a little bit sometimes, but you know what? I think you guys like it. And so if I have to do that, I have to do that. All right, so Mark Wayne, baby back Mitch McMullins is going to talk about taking away international airports from sanctuary cities. As somebody with an international airport, I would love to see him try. It's like it. You have fun cleaning up that mess.
White House today, Sean, and I said, you know, if they're going to not allow us to go out and arrest the worst of the worst, and then when we call for assistance at the facilities, that the street, it belongs to the city. If it belonged to us, we would take care of it, but it belongs to the city, and they're barricading our employees from coming in and out of the facility, then why are we processing international flights into the airport there? And we are currently, which we're not initiating yet, but we're currently drawing up plans to say, listen, in these sanctuary cities where the local radical left Democrats aren't allowing us to do our job and enforce federal laws.
Nobody's not allowing him to do the job. Nobody is not allowing ICE to do their job. That's not what a sanctuary city is or does. He doesn't understand that, or he is actively aware that he is lying to you.
Hey, funny question. When cities have international airports, and they seem to be in sanctuary states, sanctuary cities, isn't that one of the largest economic reasons, like that they're staying boosted? So
Oh, that'd
Mark
be a
Wayne,
fun mess for him to clean up.
International travel into the United States, international tourism is one of our biggest economy boosters. FIFA.
Yeah, I
mean, that.
Please
that
fucking
too.
do.
And-
Please do.
but I will say this: if remove customs and border protection, border patrol from the airports. Do it. Like, actually, I dare you, because you're going to see that now nobody's being checked when they come into the airport, so they just get to come in all.
Oh no, it cut her out.
Is like, you want to remove them, fine, everybody just gets to do what they want. Like, that means they're going to, guess what, they're going to end up in the middle of, let's just say, fucking Oklahoma, because I don't think there's a singular airport I don't think there's an international airport in Oklahoma. So you're going to end up with somebody that flew into LAX or DIA and then gets a connecting flight into Oklahoma, and then there's your immigration problem right there. Fucking do it, Mark Wayne Mullin.
How are you gonna, they don't have direct flights from these countries to places like Oklahoma. So that means you're going to be skipping having customs like you would normally do coming into, like, when I flew back in from Costa Rica, I went into Houston. I had to go through customs because I came back. Like, could you imagine skipping through that and having to be sent to a different state? Like, that's safe.
The other thing I'm thinking of, like Aria was talking about with tourism, that's also going to affect our economy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm getting this right?
We've already had a decline in our international tourism. It hasn't been as, there is an international airport in Oklahoma? Okay. That's cool. My bad then. But either way, people, like, it depends on what airline you fly because not all of them fly into
But does Oklahoma have the capacity? That's why DIA is one of the largest airports in the country, because of our capacity. We have a giant, like, what we are able to take in. Is Oklahoma able? Yeah. Is Oklahoma able to do that? To pick up what gets taken away from us? I doubt it. I just doubt it.
I'm sitting here thinking, right? Big brain energy for a second. It's just going to harm us in the long run.
Yeah.
That's all this is going to. How is this smart? I wish Trump supporters had the balls to call and explain how this is going to be good.
They don't know how. They just are like, but I don't like sanctuary cities. That's it. That's all they have. That's literally all they have.
Wait, what do they have?
I don't like sanctuary cities.
Elon Clifton.
Then we shouldn't be processing international flights into their cities either, because they don't want us to enforce immigration, but they want us to process immigration.
That's not true.
At their facilities. Nothing about that makes sense to me.
Let me tell you something. They're aiding and abetting lawbreaking, and
They just won't help you do it beyond the capacity that they're required to by law. That's it. That's all.
I just want to point out that the airline in Oklahoma has not a singular international airliner that actually flies into there.
Because they all fly into DIA.
Yeah, like not an actual international airliner flies into there.
Because as Peabody
you have
would say,
Alaska,
DIA is pretty
Allegiant.
much Kansas. So, you know.
Yeah, none of it. So like they have a very limited airline. So they have Alaska, Allegiant, American, Delta, Frontier, Southwest, and United. That's it. Those are not internationally owned airlines. Those are all American-owned airliners, which is great, you know, for income for them. Cool, whatever. But if they don't have a single, let's say, Emirates, which by the way are crazily comfortable flights, Japan Airlines, like if they don't have those, then I don't even know why it can even, I guess that's why it says world. It actually doesn't even go by international. It's called Will Rogers World Airport because they're not international.
Tasty Cake. They don't have to. What you're not understanding is that they do not have to use their state resources to do so. They're not required to. You can get over that. They're not required to do that. Guys, we're at 92,000 likes. We can get to 100,000, please.
In my defense, I flew Emirates way back in 2017 before I even knew anything about them. So
yeah.
Eli clipped it.
Of course he did.
It also was a $430 flight in 2017 to Greece. Like,
it's a world airport if you're than just the U.S.
What?
I think he said the world airport means just the UN.
It's the world airport if your world is just the U.S.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess.
That's funny.
Well, you didn't laugh, Ari.
That's how women laugh at men
Sometimes,
now. Isn't it?
I originally came up to say that Hunchback of Notre Dame is woke because the amount of times he says sanctuary.
Get out.
It's
with the church.
I don't understand what that is.
Oh, the Disney movie.
I just have to, like... My cat's going to the vet. I'm not with her because I have to go back to work in a minute, and she seriously has something wrong with her eye, and I have no idea what it is.
Oh, poor baby. Okay.
It's depressing. Anyway.
It is. I don't like that. Poor thing. I'm going to get to this last piece of my immigration section. Is not related to Markwayne Mullins, but you guys remember, do you guys remember Hannah Dugan? Does anybody remember Hannah Dugan? Hannah Dugan was a judge that the administration accused of aiding and abetting a immigrant with a an order of removal or order of detainment by ICE. Yeah, local judge. And she was accused of and convicted of aiding and abetting this person getting out, supposedly letting them out of a side door and not allowing ICE. She didn't hold them for ICE, and so she aided and abetted him. She was convicted. Well, she had filed a motion to have arguments heard for dismissal that was originally denied by the judge. She most recently had it now. Her sentence has been postponed. Why? Oh, the judge has decided that they were going to hear oral arguments for Dugan's motion that he reconsider a prior order denying dismissal of the case. The oral arguments are scheduled for 10 a.m. on June 3rd, and Dugan's sentencing has been adjourned as a result. And again, I have the actual court document. It's just one page just to show you. So, don't celebrate too early, because the judge that previously denied the request in April has now decided that they're going to hear those oral arguments for a possible dismissal and retrial. So that's going to be interesting. Just things to keep track of. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, please. Don't do it. Alrighty. Let's see. And then I'm going to go into this real quick just before I end, because it's a small section. I want to be able to end with it. And will I condemn it if she's guilty? My problem is that the evidence is that what? She did what? She just didn't hold them. That's not a crime. That's silly. Silly.
Dude, did you look at any of the comments on that Hassett video? The first one, I'm going to read it, and this is great. All caps, right? Pulling a very Trump. Bro, this guy is the best, bro. I love Hassett. He is the smartest. He's never wrong, bro. Daddy pump Trump. Won't let markets go down, bro. If it crashed, bro, we're back. No cap, MAGA, 50% up this week, guys, already. I wish I was kidding.
No, I have it on the screen now. I found it.
It's so bad. Just
fucking crazy. Rolls me on some shit.
Bro, Daddy pump Trump.
The economic equivalent of I accidentally dropped the mic. You don't say.
God damn, I hate this timeline.
They're so not smart. All right. SPLC. We're going to end with the SPLC just to keep an update on the SPLC. The SPLC has filed for dismissal. They have moved to dismiss the criminal case as vindictive prosecution. And again, that's the tweet on it. And here is your actual court case on their motion to dismiss. It's about 47 pages. You can read into where they are claiming that it is vindictive prosecution, specifically because the President Trump, he made a triumphant statement about it. The fact is that this administration is so fucking incompetent and the DOJ is so fucking incompetent. They don't realize you don't win cases by opening your mouth. You have to shut the fuck up. The administration has falsely accused the SPLC of being anti-Christian, of aiding the Biden administration's weaponization of the Department of Justice, of participating in political violence, and most recently, of helping to rig the 2020 election against President Donald Trump. These examples of this administration's animus over the past year culminated in the criminal charges against the SPLC, an indictment premised on conclusory accusations, but devoid of provable facts or a proper statement of law. Okay? So they're moving to dismiss. We will see. Again, we read the 14-page indictment here. I don't see what they have that's going to be good for the DOJ here, and especially under the premise that they're assuming. I'm going to show you this video again before we end, and that was Todd Blanche was asked specifically about the fact that you are alleging that they paid leaders of the KKK, and Blanche responds with, "I'm not alleging it. That's what the grand jury said." The grand jury also only makes an indictment. They do not decide guilt. He doesn't know how the criminal justice system works. He's a fucking idiot.
I just want to make sure I understand. You're alleging that the Southern Poverty Law Center was paying
Tasty Cake, have you read the 14-page indictment? Did you read it?
the leaders of KKK
You know the
and
answer.
other groups to continue their operations? Is that?
I'm not alleging it. The grand jury returned an indictment that says that. And so what the investigation found, according to the indictment that was returned today, is that they were paying. So the Southern Poverty Law Center.
It's not what a grand jury does. A grand jury says you have enough to bring a case, not that you have definitive guilt.
It's basically just a notice to proceed. Yeah. That's all it is. It's you have permission now to go ahead and move forward with what you want to do.
Which again, coming from the personal lawyer of Donald Trump, who is also on the side of the people who have said you could indict a ham sandwich. So, Tasty Cake, you said you have, except not the dismissal. That's totally fine. I get that. Yes, it's a notice that it continues. It's not a guilt. It's not guilt, Tasty Cake. Of course, nobody would want an indictment, but you could indict a ham sandwich, remember? So, Tasty Cake, I would ask you, since you read the 14-page indictment, what are they being accused of?
Is raising money, asking folks to give them money to dismantle racism. And over a very long period of time, they were using some of the money they raised from donors to pay to, they call them field, basically to informants, for information, for access, to just pay them for certain, to do certain things. And so, yes, that's exactly what the indictment charges.
Charges, not guilt. What are they accused of doing, Tasty Cake?
Existing, duh.
All
not
right,
liking
guys.
Trump, duh.
I'm not rating anybody today because I'm not fucking rating men because that's probably where y'all have been. I'm getting really, really tired of the amount of donations I see and super chats I see and support I see for men's fucking platforms. I'm not saying that the men aren't great. I'm not saying that the men aren't doing the damn thing. Why are we always supporting the men?
Oh, trust me, I almost made a comment. I'll message it to you about how, and this wasn't anything towards the person that was asking about like a kick pool or a drop fund for someone last night on a different channel, not mine. And I told them the amount, and they're like, "That's insane." Like, I agree. I was like, I was just a comment, like, and they don't even do a kick. They don't even do pay to kicks, right?
Right.
The person that they were asking about. And I wanted to make a point. It's like, there is somebody within our circle that does that amount for drop to kick, like pay to kicks.
Right.
And there are other people that do way less, right? Like you two do 10. But so it's like, yeah, there's the selective outrage on that one. And of course, like there are so many men that literally just end their life as soon as they hit their goal.
Right.
Even if it's an unspoken goal or a non-displayed goal. Meanwhile, me having a actual goal up there, it's still been like pulling teeth to get it met.
And it's not even just the monetary goal. I'm sorry, but I think that my numbers used to be doing well enough, and what I do was good enough. Why are we not hitting 200,000 likes every single time I'm on? I have to continually press you guys to get to 100,000 likes. I know, and if I'm not talking to you, I'm not talking to you. I promise you, don't be a hit dog that'll holler. Don't be the boot that fits. If I'm not talking to you, I promise I'm not talking to you. I know the people who are in here supporting, whether you're commenting or not. I see you. I know you. My issue is people who say they support. They say they support the community, and I see them in the same spaces that I frequent, because Debate Talk is very small, giving that support and sitting there doing it for men, but you're not doing it for women while you also sit here and say you support women.
Well, and it's just,
and like... As you guys hit 100,000 likes, thank you.
Well, but even, and now they want to call too.
Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hey, what's up, Randall, New York, 33.
Hey, did you vote for Trump?
Oh, Trump. Yeah, of course. Did you?
No. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Wait, may I ask, why didn't you vote for Trump?
No, because my platform is how I run my platforms. I'm asking why you're still supporting him today.
I mean, he's a man.
He
got rid of all the illegal...
That's it. He got rid of all of them?
Mhm.
That's interesting, because we seem to have a mass detainment problem in this country, so he did not get rid of them. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a whole another problem in its own
Uh-huh.
issue, you know, it's a whole issue in its own, you know, so let's stop splitting hairs here.
No, that's not splitting hairs. That's being factually accurate. If you want to be factually accurate, you don't get to say that he got rid of all the illegals, and then I bring up mass detention, and you're like, well, yeah. So no, he's not mass deporting. How is getting rid of illegals beneficial to the United States of America?
May I ask the ones who commit crimes, may I ask, do you think jail is detention, illegal detention for regular citizens?
Not if they've been
Illegal.
not if they've been convicted and sentenced. No.
What if they're decent and they've still been convicted? You know,
What
a
if
lot
what?
of
I'm
people in
sorry?
jail. You know, a lot of people in jail are innocent and they have been convicted.
Yeah, I know.
and
We
they-
need to fix. Yeah, I know. We need to fix that system of
That's it.
vindictive prosecution. But you're advocating for more
That-
of it.
No, it's a bad system. That's what I'm letting you know. It's such a messed up system that we have to change it. I feel Trump is the one to truly change it.
What has Trump proposed for changing the prison system?
I think he was working with Kim Kardashian on like something.
No,
No, I'm serious. Why are you laughing?
Because you're talking about in his
The jail
first
reform.
you're talking about him pardoning people. What has he proposed through
Oh,
policy?
he pardoned Kodak Black.
I don't care.
Yo, come on, bro.
What has he proposed in way of policy, in way of campaign policy or legislation to get done that is going to reform the prison system? What has he proposed?
Okay, so listen, I don't have
Not a
any,
damn
I don't
thing.
have like a
Not a
thing
damn
on
thing.
the top off the top
Not
of
a
my head, but if
damn
you would allow
thing.
me to
Not
sign
a
it,
damn thing. He
can I
didn't
Google
campaign
it?
on it. Yes, you
Can
can.
I Google?
Yep, you can Google it and come back tomorrow. You absolutely can Google it. Please Google it.
Googly.
He didn't campaign on prison reform.
No, he did not.
You okay?
And again, like everybody gives him credit for the First Step Act. To be clear, this was a bill that was originally introduced under Obama. The Republican Party blocked it, and then they reintroduced it. They blocked the vote, and they reintroduced it within, Donald Trump's administration, and then they passed it.
I just
So
thank
it's something that could have been.
Thank you, Steve, for torturing me with numbers. Thank you, Steve, for the 1729. For appreciate you. I appreciate you too, friend. Thank you so much for the support that you give.
I
to the
forgot we were
community.
talking about that.
That's what we were pointing at.
the one thing I genuinely wish that I could do is take however many people show up in my live in the morning, could be just a bunch of trolls, but at least send them around. I wish I could at least do that with too, but at least I have a way to directly send people.
Yeah, but I
That's
mean,
the
it's
thing.
it shouldn't be. It should be about the quality of the content, not necessarily the number. So that's not on you. That is, they're choosing, or just my time frame. It could be my time frame, and they're busy at work. I don't know, but Joey
No,
is
it
on
shouldn't.
right now with 300 people deep, and it's not Joey's fault. I'm just saying it's the people who go and spoil it. But
It's your prescription is
thank you,
valid.
RTP is back on TikTok.
Oh, is he now?
Oh.
He got his account back or a
Thank you,
new one.
Steve, for the 10 as well. Oh, did he get a new one?
I don't know if he got a new, but it's showing in my following list, so I don't know if he got the account back. Maybe, which like good for him. I'm not saying I want him gone. I'm just saying like
Yeah, no.
you come back on a platform, or like you have a man on a platform. You got Joey and RTP, and boom, like. I know you, I see you guys. I want you to realize that I find you in these other spaces late at night.
Yep.
It's
supporting.
not hard to find. It's not, and it's like it's the same. Again, the one thing I will. There should be no reason that I brought up someone that has been deplatformed but is still being put on platforms. And as soon as that person's on my panel, I got half of my goal done.
Yeah, you want me to? I'll go through my block list. If you guys want me to bring back up the shitheads that you hate, then you want me to really grift, I can do it. But I don't want to run that kind of platform. I want to talk about the fucking news. I want to talk about the reforms. I want to talk about the elections. I want to talk about legislation. Love you, Ari. Why should I have to feed into the blood sport for you guys to support me? Why is that what you want? We have to move past that at some point. At some point, we have to be done trying to dunk on and fucking get at and eat at MAGA. At some point, it has to end. But y'all want blood sport? I guess keep going. She just talk shit on idiots. I guess talk to Torta for the 15th fucking time on his 21st account. I guess talk to Hoodie. Talk to PK. I saw him back. He's fucking back around. Talk to DJ. Talk to, like, I guess talk to all those motherfuckers again. Because that's what you guys want.
Well, I don't think you should base it on. We can talk later. If you're up for it. I don't know what spoons you have, but I want to talk. You have spoons, so we can rant.
No, it's just I'm so tired of the fucking dunking in Bloodsport. Like I will do it. I will have those conversations when they come up. But like we have to, as a country, to me it's just a sample of us as a country. We have to move past that at some point. If they want to keep owning us and we want to keep owning them, we're never going to get anywhere that's going to be beneficial for my children. I want a world that my children don't live in where somebody's trying to own them because they believe in human rights, or where we try to own them because they regret their vote, but they're not sorry enough for us.
Yep. No, I agree full-heartedly.
Yeah.
Full-throatedly, if you will.
Full-throated.
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 I think the biggest thing, and I think to the 97 people in here, and Tube who's listening, but you're not actually listening.
No.
I think you hear the frustration. Again, we were talking about it one day on my live, and then all of a sudden people will start pouring in donations after we complained about it. That shouldn't be a thing we have to do. We shouldn't have to sit up here and full throat go, yes. And have to sit and complain. I don't want to complain about, men who are doing the same thing I'm doing.
Right. I will say,
love
Matt Chu, I think you were the one that I had. We talked for almost an hour that one day. I think that's you, right? Where we talked, and we had a really, really good conversation, and you were absolutely able, to call in again. This is overtime. I do have the phone lines off, but I will be back tomorrow at around the same time. But if that was you, again, but I do before I do that, before I want to stop being a raging bitch for a second, and I do want to give accolades and praise the people who are here every day for me and Olive, whether we have 12 people in the live or 200 people in the live. Thank you guys for choosing us, for choosing me, for staying in, for being able to tap when you can. I know sometimes, look, I do it too. I will sometimes put on a live or whatever and walk away and clean something. So yeah, I'm not actively tapping at all times. So I want to give you guys praise that I see you, and I'm not talking about you, and I appreciate everything that you guys do for me and that you guys do for this community. And I want you to know that I see you, and thank you for being here every single day.
I think if you know who you are.
Do not call my friend names. I'm sorry, Lakin. I'm sorry.
I really feel like that. And it's not asking for people who show up here every single day. It's the same people who I see drop large donations on other content creators.
Sure.
Cran Eaters, I see.
Hello, Cran Eater. What's up?
What do you want,
Degradation
Marine?
kink to his kink real quick.
What? What'd you say?
Say it with your full chest.
Can you not hear me?
Now we can.
We just couldn't understand. What
Is
you
that
said.
better?
Yes, so much better.
Oh, you're a nom, that's why.
Yeah, back in nom.
Why are you lying?
It's so crunchy.
Babe, I'm trying.
Not to say it with full bars. Get better connection.
Good afternoon, Vietnam. Oh my god. So yeah. But you know, we'll get back into it. So tomorrow we'll probably go over his stupid clips from his cabinet meeting. That's what's funny is they're like, all you have is Trump, all you have is Trump. I actually really hate talking about him. I would prefer to talk about the administration and Congress and what they are doing or not doing, not him particularly. I really hate showing clips of him because it's just like listening to Peepaw in the corner with Jell-O telling you stories. Nobody wants to hear that shit. But apparently we're going to have to talk about that. Maybe I'll finally get to Epstein tomorrow, which will be another heavy day, unfortunately. But I've been trying to get to this fucking segment for forever, and it's really just hard to fit it in because it keeps getting buried by all the bullshit, and that sucks. But
My report card should be coming out Friday.
yay! I'm so excited.
I hope it goes over well. I hope that it gets, because again, the topics that a lot of us want to talk about, you guys don't want to hear. And I say you guys in general. A lot of people don't want to hear me talk about education.
Yeah, but we need to. These are the things we need to keep talking about. Stuff that is happening behind the scenes that we're gonna have to clean up and is not being talked about.
The stuff that could be cleaned up as we talk right now for some form of damage control, but is not being taken care of.
Yeah. Bruh said he wants to hear you talk about education, so that's great. Make sure you're following Jar of Olives on YouTube so that you can do that.
No, you didn't, Chuck, man. That's not true. Links in bio.
Did not.
If you're going to, might as well.
So
Bitch.
YouTube and Twitch, I'll bring up my nom husband, but YouTube and Twitch, I am going to say goodbye. I appreciate you guys and your support. Thank you for, even though it was Rip Tip, thank you guys for the jewels and stuff over there. Thank you guys over on Twitch for always being here and supporting in that small little space that we're trying to build up. Twitch is a little bit harder to build up over there, but I appreciate it.
Super chat.
So thank you. I appreciate that. Let me get it so I can bring it up on the
I just said how it's spelled. Oh, that's so unique. Never mind. Ignore me.
W. Matt Chu. We have a difference of opinion, but you ladies are fair to your own party, and we have a lot in common than most people think. Here's to growth. Thank you. And exactly. And I think probably one of the best conversations I've had all year has been with you, Matt. Even though we have differences, we can talk about them like humans because I would still want the best for you and your family, and I would hope you would want the best for me and my family. So I'm totally willing to have those conversations. So I appreciate you. And I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to chat today. But YouTube and Twitch, I will be back tomorrow, Thursday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. And I hope you guys do have a wonderful day, even if you dislike me. And you guys can keep... I scream like a banshee at everyone. I definitely did not scream at Matt. So that's not true. And that conversation is on YouTube. If you would like to rewatch on Twitch and YouTube, you can rewatch the lives, or if you missed something, you can watch them. I didn't yell at Matt at all. So